how to clean this. Stop sharing for a little while. Okay, if you go back to your OL, we have two files. One is design and development 1 and then design and development 2. Okay, what I need you to do is that browse through the first one, slides 9, low fidelity design and development 1. On that slide contains general information how you design and develop a system, a software, regardless whether it's a web application, a mobile application, or IoT, or a research base or experimental base. Okay. What I'm going to focus today is on the design and development 2, which is on the user interface. Right. For our class, what we need to do is that now it's already week 11. Okay. InsyaAllah today we are at week 11, and then you have 3 more weeks to go until week 14. Okay. In week 14, what you do is that you're going to present your final assignment for this semester, STIX3993, which is you are going to have your low fidelity presentation. So what is expected from low fidelity presentation? You are supposed to complete at least sekurang-kurangnya at least 30%, 30% from your stated functional requirement. Okay, you have to complete at least 30% from your functional requirement that you have presented last week, the ones that you have included in your report. Okay, talking about that, okay, I've been receiving many messages from you guys saying that most of your documentation has not been signed or approved by the supervisor yet. So I have extended the deadline in your OL for you to submit your requirement specification. Okay, to those who have not obtained the signed document, never mind. I need a favor from you guys to keep contacting your supervisor, remind him or her to sign the document, the requirement specification, and then once he has signed it, then you can upload in the OL. Okay, the signed version has to be uploaded in the OL. Also, please remind him or her to make sure that you always assign your meeting log as well. Itu satu lagi. Okay, because some of the supervisor message to me saying that their students have not asked them to sign any log. I said, no, students are supposed to sign the log every time they have a discussion, regardless through WhatsApp ke, Zoom ke, Webex ke, whatever, that is considered as a meeting or one discussion or one meeting. Okay. As I mentioned just now, what we'll do today, we'll be focusing on the user interface design. Okay, I'm going to open the file here. Where is it? Sorry. Share this with you. Okay, so I will focus on this user interface design. The other one on slide 9, I believe you can have a look at yourself. It's just a bit information on developing a system or software. So our focus is user interface design. Why? Because this will, once you have once you have finalized your requirement specification, especially the ones that you have stated as mandatory, so now is the time for you to develop your system. Okay, when you want to develop your system, one of the important aspects to be considered is the interface design. Okay, sebelum ni, our second assignment more on what the system will offer, what the system will do, okay, can log in, can register, can manage, and then can add, can delete, update, etc. So now, in the third phase of our STIX3913, what you need to do is to design your interface. And I am suggesting, okay, I am suggesting that you, when you design this interface, use the IDE that you are going to develop the system with. Okay, apa I cakap ni? For example, if you are to develop web-based application, okay, web-based system, now depending on what you want to use, is it you want to use JavaScript, do you want to use PHP, okay, so depending on what you want to use, then you can just develop your system. What I am expecting from your third assignment is that all pages, okay, please bear with me, all pages or all windows ke, you panggil windows ke, pages ke, all pages must be made available. Alright? For your third assignment, all pages must be made available. You ada first page, you ada apa? The big menu. Okay, it must be there. And then what happened? If you want to log in, where is the page? Sorry, before you log in apa? Ada setengah system requires to register. Okay, what is the registration page? Has to be there. Once I register, dia keluar error apa ke, salah masuk info ke, alphabet tak cukup, my password tak cukup alphabet. What is the page? It has to be there. And then when you want to do the login, what is the page for login, etc., etc. And then you ada apa? Once I log in, I have what page? I can see the main menu. Okay, now I have 3 different users because some of you have many users. All right, and when you did your presentation, some of you mentioned to me, okay, the first type of user, they can see this, the second type of user cannot see this. So these are the pages that has to be made available. Semua page have to be available in this third assignment, right? So my suggestion is that create or design your page, all right, using your required application. Kalau you nak buat web, buat terus dalam web. If you want to do it mobile, you nak guna Flutter or whatever, Android Studio, etc., do it there. Okay? And then when you want to do your presentation, you're going to present to me all these pages. So for the third assignment, all of the pages must be made available. The question is that, okay, will you be developing all functions? No lah, because this is only project 1. So project 1, I'm only expecting 30%, 30% out of the functional requirement that you have stated. Okay, focus on the functional requirement first. The non-functional requirement, you can do it later in second semester in your project 2. Okay, your focus should be on the functional requirement because yang tu, that list of requirement will take some time for you to complete, right? And the non-functional is just based on the security, the performance, availability, etc. But the main thing is to focus on the functional requirement list yang you have, the one that you have presented to me last week. Okay. Going back to here, okay, what is user interface design? Okay, when you wanted to design, okay, include user interface design, data design, and also the system architecture design. So we have 3 important things. User interface is the pages. How many buttons, where you want to arrange your buttons. You pakai buttons ke, you pakai radio button ke, you pakai drop down list ke. And then your data design, yang ni partly you have done when you created your class diagram. Partly, I didn't say all, I said partly, right? So now you have to continue on designing the data, the detail of the data. For example, okay, when you have an object, what are the attributes? Sometimes you miss certain attributes in the class diagram. So now is the phase whereby you can include all these detailed attributes and also behavior undertaken by the particular object. And then the system architecture is the relationship between all these pages and also your data design. Okay, what component goes into which component? So that is the example for system architecture. Okay, If you look at the interface design, or sometimes people call UI, user interface, okay, it consists of all this hardware, software screen, your menu, your function, your output, and involve the features of two-way communication. When you have, because we have what, 41 projects in our class. Okay, some students have project whereby user only focus one type of user, he only can have one-way communication. This is, for example, when you view. Okay, there is a, for example, yang paling senang lah, contact us lah. Okay. The easiest one is contact us information, you just display. So this is one-way communication whereby your user only can read the information. You cannot do anything else. Right. The two-way communication is whereby you expect the user to key in some input and then the system or your computer will process it and then present the output. The simple one is the login use case. Okay, when you perform login, a user will provide, for example, your user ID or username, and then along with the password. So user have to key in something, key in two information, the username and also the password. So once the user key in, what the system will do is that it will compare the username and also the password with the ones in your database. This is the processing part. If both are correct, then what the system will do is that will allow the user to log in or go or move to another page. So this is what we mean by two-way communication. Okay. So when we are involving user interface, usually involve these two things. One-way communication is just to display, and then the other one is it had effects on two-way communication, whereby the system will expect a user to provide some input, and then the system will do some processing. The simplest processing is to compare with the ones in database, macam I mentioned just now in terms of the login process. Once it compare, okay, kalau betul, if it's correct, then it will do what? It will bring out the second page. If the password is incorrect, dia akan pop up the error message. Can you mentioned in last class your presentation what? You are the error 1 lah, error 2 lah. So it will pop up this error. So this is the effect on the two-way communication. Alright. In terms of the evolution of the user interface, kita ada process control, and then you also have a user-centered system. And then we also have the other term is we call it HCI, human computer interaction. This one usually involving when people do their jobs lah using this computer system. Okay, and involve sometimes also termed as GUI, graphical user interface. But the purpose of it is that you wanted to create a user interface that is very friendly, will help the user to understand apa I nak buat lepas ni. So your user interface must be very friendly so that your user will know, okay, what to do. Have to key in here, have to click this button. Once I click this button, it will bring me what? It will pop up what? Okay, so this is very important. One of the importance of having a good user interface design. You can have a look on this, the user rights. All right. These are the principles of the user-centered design. You have to understand your business, your operation, maximize graphical effectiveness. You have to think like a user. Macam you sekarang pun, we as a user, sometimes we do lots of complaints. This system ni hodoh lah, tak cantik lah, it's not friendly, it's difficult to use. So now you have to put yourself in the shoes of the user and think like a user. Okay. You can also use various models and prototypes for user-centered design. Of course, you have to focus on the usability. The important thing in user interface is that the usability of it. If the button, okay, if I click this button, it will get me to where? So this is usability. Okay. Once you are done with that, you can also have feedback whereby later in your second semester in project 2, you present feedback. Okay, you present a feedback, we get some feedback from the user saying that, okay, what comment button ni tak cantik, button tu when I click this it doesn't happen, etc. Okay, and then of course you have to document your interface. when we create, this is what we are doing actually for assignment 3. We are documenting your interface. We are documenting, okay, what page for user student, okay, these are the pages. And then for staff or for lecturer, these are the pages. So you have to document. Okay, this is what you are doing for your assignment 3. These 8 basic principles or guidelines in creating or in designing user interface. It must be a transparent interface, easy to learn and easy to use, helps user to increase his productivity. The interface must also offer so that users is easier to get help if they don't understand, or if there's any error, your interface will pop up certain errors. And then you have to make sure minimize input data problems. Okay, sometimes for example you nak key in input kan, okay, if you only involve okay your password, you have to mention that maybe you can put a small note, at least 8 alphanumeric characters, whatever, to put it there. And then of course your interface provide feedback, macam I kata tadi, kalau error dia akan keluar error. If your submission is approved, you can say okay, your application has been submitted, some sort of like that. And then of course in terms of the creativity of the layout and the design, and the least one that you can do, make sure you use simple terms. Okay, your instruction on the pages must be very simple, use simple words, and also simple or standardized icons or images. Okay, sometimes lah kata you ada icon logout. We have so many standardized logout item kan, macam pintu nak keluar that is logout, or you want to use exit icon. Okay, and then if you want to have what certain things for student, maybe you put a student with book ke, icon books ke, and then if a registration, you can put a form icon or images. So this is what we mean by use familiar terms and also familiar images, standardized images lah. That is what I mean. Okay, all right, any questions so far, class? Anything? Okay, so all the pages need to be available, but only needed 30% from functional requirement. Yes, Anisah. Okay, your friend Anisah is asking here what I've mentioned just now. Okay, again, semua pages can available because this is low prototyping. Okay, low prototype means all pages, semua. That is very, very important. Your error pages kena ada. Apa lagi? Your alternative flow punya page kena ada. Apa lagi? Of course, basic flow wajib lah. Kalau you ada page untuk display information saja, contact us. So that page must also be made available. Okay. The ones that is static, what I mean by static, meaning for example, you have a menu. Okay. For example, I go for a web base. You ada menu atas tu. What login, and then what register, view record, and then you ada log out. So that button paling senang dia boleh connect lah. If I say I press login, it will go to the login page. Okay, and then whatever I fill out my information, and then if I have a menu there log out, so because ada student yang buat ada log out punya use case kan. Okay, so if I click log out, it will log me out, it will close the system. So that is an example. What is the page? Kalau dia close, okay, you have been logged out, or you ada notification, you have successfully been registered. So you have that information. Okay. What I mean by 30% from the functional requirement, now you go back to your functional requirement. Kalau contoh lah, okay, you ada 10 functional requirement that is mandatory. I'm focusing on the mandatory lah, not optional, not desirable. Go for the M. Okay, from the M, you calculate how many you have, and then make sure The ones at least 30% is operational. Maksud I operational boleh jalan. Okay, it can be executed. For example, if you have 10 mandatory requirements, if I take 30%, maksudnya apa? Lebih kurang 3 lah. Okay, I accept, okay, 3 out of 10 have to be executed. So meaning, kalau you buat, okay, you ada login, so I can log in. Okay, when you demo later for your third assignment, you demo, okay, I want to have these are my pages. So now this page login, I can log in. Log in meaning, okay, I register, or you nak buat register. You have to put, okay, key in input, and then it will keep in the database. And then when you try for login, what happened? Compare the username and also the password. Okay, kalau betul, dia jadi apa? If it's incorrect, what happened? So this is what I mean by 30%. Itu baru dua lah. Registration, login. And then what else you have? You can add. For example, you either add records. Okay. So you show me, okay, this is the page for add records. So you fill up lah. Name, alamat, what else? My phone number, email address, etc. And then this is add a new record, add a new student. So it is being kept in the database. Once you say submitted, you press the button submit or okay, and then you say, okay, the record has been added. Okay, and then when we go and check in the database, it's already in the database. So now you have completed 3 because I have 10 mandatory requirements for functional requirements. Then I have completed 3 of it. So that is considered as 30%. All right, anything else? If we have 3 users, can we show only 1 user web view? You have to show, the pages have to be all 3 users pages. Okay, it has to be all 3 users pages. Kalau, but sometimes the pages are the same. Maybe only 1 or 2 pages are different, but for example, login pages is the same,
Yes,
right?
can I have the
Whether
data?
I am user 1, user 2, or user 3, so login pages is the same, registration pages is the same. Maybe other function have different pages, so that one, but you have to show it. So to answer Anisah, yes, you have to include all pages regardless of the user type. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Can we use tools like proto.io for the low fidelity? Sorry. Who's that? Yuhanis. All right. Proto.io for low fidelity, yes, you can use it. But will it help you to later on developing the system? Anisah? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. So when you said you want to use proto.io, all right? Yes, you can use proto.io. Will it be the only tool that you'll be using to develop the system? Okay. All right. Then it's okay. For me, whatever tool that you are using to create your low fidelity doesn't matter. But, okay, this is my personal opinion. My personal opinion is that go straight to develop your system. Kalau you guna sistem, let's say you're doing web-based, so go straight to the web-based application and create the pages there. Alright? For me personally, it will be a waste of time kalau you buat dua benda yang if you are doing two things that are not connected. Okay? For example, for the sake of low fidelity prototype, you just create a pages. Actually, if you want to create your pages using PowerPoint pun boleh. You can do that. But you are wasting your time. Okay, why do I say that? Because PowerPoint is not your final tool to develop a system. It's just to present the pages. Okay, you can create all these pages. I give an example lah. For example, you are the 20 pages. You count all your pages, you have 20 pages. You can design the pages in PowerPoint. Yes, I will accept it. But later, once you are in your developing your system stage, will you be using PowerPoint? No. So you dah rugi dah. You dah waste 2-3 weeks of work, of effort, and suddenly it does not contribute to the whole system. So what I'll do is that, okay, for example, if I'm doing a web page application, web page system, I will go straight and decide, because some of you already mentioned in the documentation you will use what tool for developing the web application. Okay, so the pages you want to use a PHP, for example. Okay, go straight to the pages, create the pages there using the PHP, for example. Some of you want to have it in JavaScript, then go straight to that JavaScript, because partly your kerja untuk semester 2 it will help you because it's already there. If you are doing it using a tool that just for the sake of creating the pages but it cannot work in the system, then for me personally, that is just my personal opinion, you will waste some time. Okay, all right, anything else? About the project include IoT device. Okay, kejap. Tu Maria punya soalan. I answer Tze Shung punya question. Doesn't matter, Tze Shung, whether IoT or web or mobile, 30% from your mandatory requirement that you presented last week. 30% from there. Okay, go back to your specification. Focus on the functional requirement. Berapa functional requirement that you letak? 30% out of it. Okay, Tze Shung? And then Maria asked me, mana Maria? Just to confirm, follow the name, we need to use coding to develop just 30% of the mandatory. I don't understand. Use coding. Of course you have. Maria, what do you mean by that question? You want to unmute yourself and explain what is your question, Maria? Maria?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. What I meant is like we need to develop using coding. We need to do JavaScript for.
It's up to you. It's up to you what tool? Not what tool.
What language?
What language you want to use to develop the system. I don't mind, and I don't think your supervisor also mind. Okay, whatever tool that you wanted to develop, whatever tool that you wanted to use to develop your system, it's not a matter.
Okay. So it means that.
Yes.
It means that the function need to be 100% working, right?
Not all 100%. 30% must be working.
Okay, for the 30%, you need to be working lah.
True. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Alright. But Maria, make sure the pages semua ada.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So pages must all of the pages must be made available.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. To the rest as well, to the rest of the class, make sure all the pages are there. So the first thing that you have to do, number one, create all your pages. Okay, all of your pages, your main page, ada orang ada main page. Tak kisahlah IoT ke, mobile ke, web ke, you have, of course you have main page, right? Create that page. Okay, whatever tool you want to use, you have to think now, okay, I'm developing an IoT project. Okay, of course IoT involve the hardware. Okay, you have to buy the hardware. Kalau if you don't have the time to buy it yet, also never mind. Now what is the page? Semua orang last week semua orang presented to me, they have a main page that offers something. You have to create that page. And then of course the sub pages for each of the menu that you have stated. Some, okay, IoT for example, dia kata apa? Read data from sensor. Okay, because you have IoT, the data from your sensor. So you have stated there, some of you stated read data from sensor. So now, where is the sensor? And it has to have a page to read the data. I click OK to read data or retrieve data. When I click that, it will get the data, some sort of like that. Or sometimes you have a pages kata apa, view readings from data, because the readings, let's say you have a reading apa, the water level. So I can see the data coming in, for example, on that page. Right? So itu examples of pages that you have to have for assignment 3. But as I mentioned just now, I'm giving you a tip. Number one, design all your pages. Bukan setakat design, but create them. Okay, you have to have the pages. That is number one. Okay, then only once you have all your pages, then go to my second requirement, which is make sure 30% of the functional requirement, the mandatory functional requirement, can be executed. Apa maksud can be executed? Kalau you kata your mandatory one, you ada can register, right? You mention in your requirement dah. Okay, user can register their account by providing input, username and password. You mentioned already in last week's presentation. So that one, in your system, I can do it now. I can register. You got one mandatory requirement being performed. Second one, you said the system will allow user to log in. Okay, user to log in. So now I already register Yuhanis, my password 123. Now I use Yuhanis and then my password 123, I can log in. Okay, it say, okay, log in successfully, bring me to a second page. Okay, meaning you already have completed two requirement, and so forth and so forth. All right. Okay. Anything else? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Jian Yi. Yeah. Okay. You have 100 pages. You have 100 channels. Am I right? Okay. And then your question? Okay, in your case, because the pages will be more or less the same, but the content will be different, right? Then just create a few samples of it. Because your page actually the same, but you are retrieving from different channel, right? So that one for me is actually the same page. Is it? Okay, all right. Anything else? Anything else? I've been informed here by the dean, the award, the dean list ceremony will start later. I hope you have registered for those receiving the award. You need to, I think, join the function. I guess the ceremony. I guess. Right. Anything else? The rest, we just have a short one today because of the ceremony. Okay, I tak nak prolong this session. If you look at the notes, we have others for the interface. You can have a look on these notes. And later, if you don't have it, if you do not understand anything, you can just WhatsApp me, or you can also post it in the group. Okay, then I will comment on there from there. Okay, anything else? Yes. Okay, this is an example. This slide that we are having is an example of a page. This is a student registration system. All right. So this is what I mean. You have created all this, okay, the look and feel of it. During your low fidelity, you have to put the feel of your system. Okay, for example, now you have, okay, this is the button. So we have what? Your menu bar, your toolbar, your dialog box, etc. Present it in on the page. Yes. Yongming, you wanted to say anything? Anything? A little bit more, the control features, you can have what? Different lists of box, drop down. Yes, Yongming. I cannot hear you, sorry. We are allowed to use low fidelity tools such as PowerPoint, but it would be better to use the languages that we want to develop the system to reduce effort. Yes, yeah, true. And what Anisah is saying in the chat is true. You can use Proto.io, you can use PowerPoint, etc. But you have to think, if you use that, okay, will it be the final system? I'm sure not. That is just for the sake of presentation. You can create it using Proto.io. You can have all the pages. Nak guna PowerPoint ke? Betul. I click this button, it will go to the next page. Betul. Okay. But the final system, will it be on that? I'm sure not. Okay. Nanti you kena buat dua kerja. You buka pula masuk you punya, you have to go back to your language. Android Studio ke whatever, you have to create it there. Again, you're wasting your time. Because this one will take you 2 weeks to do this. You have to design all the pages, and then, okay, and then of course to find it. I give you an example, the one that we have on this slide. You can have these pages. For example, this one created in Microsoft Access. Right? So you can have these pages, and then I click here, add a project record, whatever, it will go to the next page, etc. True. Okay, kalau you finally done it for the complete system, that will be easier. Because anyhow, you're going to develop the system. Tak kisahlah you pakai PHP ke, Java ke, whatever language that you are developing your system. But the pages is already there. So you save your time later in the future. Okay? Alright, anything else? Ada yang lain? These are examples of the report that we also have, and then also the output technology design, certain reports that you wanted to put, what kinds of design that you have. For example, the input design, where is the heading zone, your control zone, instruction zone, the body zone. So this is an example of your input. For example, input macam login lah. Login, you ada input, right? So you can have, for this is just an example of the design. Okay. Sometimes in the heading, I strongly advise kalau system, sometimes you have your own logo. Because remember when you did your specification, you dah bagi nama kan SRS, MTSS, you give all the short form. So create a logo for it, for your system, and then you can put at the heading zone, for example. So every pages will have your logo on top. Just an example, this is also considered as UI, user interface design. Okay, that will be standardized. Every page akan ada logo on the top left. So regardless of what page you go, the logo remains there. Like a like header lah, macam header. Okay, so you can have it like that as well. Alright, anything else? Stop sharing this. Okay, it is a very large size of files. You can read that too. Do we need to design the database as well? What if the database is not shown in the system? Not shown in the system, I don't understand. All of you, all 41 of the project requires a database. Okay, tak ada satu pun yang sistem tak ada database. Why? Because you have to keep your record in the database. So of course you need the database design if you want to create or if you want to achieve the 30% functional requirement. Anisah? So you have your database because you nak store information about your user ID tadi kan, to log in. It has to have a database. Or else macam mana nak log in, nak verify in the database whether I have key in the right username and the right password or not. Okay, database is a must if you want to achieve the 30%. Okay. All right, what else? Anything else? There's your attendance. I share again your attendance. Anything else, class? Before I dismiss, some of you have to attend the Dean List Award ceremony. Anybody else? When? Yeah. What? What is me? Yes, Win.
No, madam. Sorry, no.
Okay, all right, okay. So do you have anything else? Kalau tak ada, then I'll just stop the class here. Alright, you can have a look at both of the documents that I've uploaded, the low fidelity of documents in your UMOL. That be a guideline for you in order to learn or give some tips or guidelines when you want to develop the user interface. Alright, there are two documents in UMOL, document 9 and also document 10. Both are on the design part, focusing on the user interface. Like the one that I've shown you is on document 10. Okay, do you have anything? All right, so if you don't have anything else, I think I'll just stop the class here. Okay, if you do have any concern, please feel free to post it in the group. Inshallah, I will respond from there. Or if you want to PM me also, please do so. But maybe sometimes I read but I forgot to reply. Okay, so please post the messages again. Okay, all right, I think that's it for today. And congratulations for those receiving the award today. And I do hope that next semester all of my students in this group will be able to get the award, the this award for next semester. All right, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much. Take care. Congratulations again.
Good morning, madam. I have a
Yes.
question to ask.
Okay, Ivy.
So one of my functional requirement is display the running event. So do I need to create the event for user to view the event?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
You
how?
have to this one is just a dummy data lah. So meaning you
just
have to
dummy.
click. You put lah tarikh 1 February ke whatever date.
Okay. So how many event do I need to create?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. As long as user can view the event, right?
Because you have one requirement to view event, right? So and if you put only one also fine, because now I can view the event.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, madam.
All right. Okay, anybody else? Okay, Yun Hao, I will add you manually. Ada lagi ke? Yun Hao, so I will add Yun Hao. Okay, for the rest, that's it. Please exit. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Assalamualaikum.